Hello and welcome to the Drone Zone. I'm drone pilot Brian Kae.
And I'm drone pilot Joe Tillman.
And I'm drone pilot Levi Pettigrew.
All right. Hey guys. Today we are talking about our more unusual drone flights. Maybe a little
wacky,
weird,
out of this world.
Out of this world. That's what I would say. Out of this world stuff that we've shot. We've all shot something that might have been a little bit unique, right? When it comes to drone shoots.
Right.
Let's start with Levi. First of all, how you doing, Levi?
Oh, I'm great.
All right.
Are we starting with the Cocoapelli?
Yeah.
We are starting with
We are starting with your shoot at the Cocoapelli.
But first off, most important, what is a Cocoapelli?
Cocoapelli is a deity to some southwestern tribes that is for prosperity and
fertility.
Fertility. It's also a trickster. I like to think of him as like, a little punk rock dude running around skinking with a horn.
With a flute,
but
right?
he also is the spirit of music.
Okay. He studied very hard.
You can tell. He Googled right before the show.
What is a Cocoapelli? No, you went to Camp Verde recently, right?
Yes.
Why did you go there and what did you drone?
Well, in Camp Verde, they have the world's largest Cocoapelli.
Wow.
It's 32 feet tall. It's kind of neat.
The world's largest.
Yes, well, that's what it says.
That's pretty cool. Right here in Arizona.
Yes, right here in Arizona.
And why is it there?
It's there to bring attraction to the shopping center that's called the Cocoapelli Plaza. Originally, it had a pink car, and it wasn't doing its job. So I'm curious if the Cocoapelli name came before the statue or...
Do you remember how tall it was?
Plaza. 32
feet.
So that's pretty tall. So that's worthy of a drone shoot.
Sure.
So droning the Cocoapelli, that was one of your first flights because you're pretty new as a drone pilot, right?
I think it was like my maybe fourth or fifth flight.
So any hazards or anything while droning this world's largest statue of a Cocoapelli?
Well, actually, there was a lot of hazards.
Okay.
It's right next to the US 260 and I-17, so I can't really fly over two busy highways. Also, there's like a 60-foot tall Starbucks sign next to it, so I had to watch out for that. Some light poles and a busy parking lot.
All right. Well, you had a VO with you, correct?
Yes.
We all have VOs with us most of the time we fly, so
Most of the time.
that's very handy to have in
Very
that
helpful.
situation. Very cool. Well, I've flown something pretty similar, not 32-foot Cocoapelli, but a 14-foot Bumblebee transformer lookalike statue.
Wow. That was 14 feet?
14 feet.
That looked way bigger than 14 feet.
I know, but you know what? I found out about it. It's at the northwest corner of Carefree and Cave Creek and Carefree, and I went there for a story because people were posting, what is this? What is the statue of a transformer robot doing here? And of course, I'm going to fly the drone, right? When you get a chance to fly the drone around a transformer?
A real life transformer.
A real life transformer. Lookalike. It's a lookalike, right?
Okay.
That's what we want to say.
We couldn't get the original Bumblebee, so we got this guy.
But I just wanted to do it, just get a couple low shots. A lot of people were coming up, taking pictures. So once again, it was very important to have a visual observer to kind of tell me like, hey, there's a family coming up to take pictures, And the reason why it's there is because the landowner wants to make an art walk, and this Bumblebee statue lookalike is the centerpiece of this art walk. And I said, I have to fly the drone for this.
I have to.
When am I going to get a chance to drone a transformer?
What's Bumblebee going to do?
What is Bumblebee? He's just standing there anyways, right?
He's not moving. What's he going to do?
Yeah, and he's from space.
Right.
Right? The Transformers are from space, and you have kind of a out of this world drone shoot you were on, right? With the Artemis mission? Tell me about that.
I think it's going to include everything we wanted to include. Wild, wacky. It was the Artemis. Allegedly, we're going back to the moon in 26. NASA comes out and trains in Arizona for a lot of things and a lot of different regions.
Right.
So we were out here for the Artemis thing, and it was an international press thing. So there's press from all over the world.
Wow.
And everybody brought a drone.
Oh my gosh. So how many drones?
There was 20 drones.
Were they all in the air at the same time?
No, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I chose to wait. I'm like, I'm not launching with this many drones.
That's a pretty good idea.
But so I chose to wait. But the problem is this drone pilot from Germany.
Okay.
He did not care about any rules we have. He was just go on your own, and he would just fly through us and stuff like this. And people were trying to talk to him, and he just wasn't having it. So
you were flying your drone.
I didn't fly.
You were watching, and you're like,
I was watching.
I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good move.
This guy's not talking to other drone pilots, which you should be on that kind of a drone shoot. he was just all for himself. And I'm like, I'm not droning, I'll wait, because it doesn't matter. It's not worth it. And I've never been on a shoot with 20 drone pilots before.
That is crazy.
It's insane and wacky.
That is wacky.
It is wacky.
Well, like you said, NASA comes to Arizona a lot to train, for missions.
Right.
And the Meteor Crater near Winslow, Arizona, they trained for the Apollo missions there. And we did a drone zone on that. So let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Tahi. I'm head tour guide here at Meteor Crater Space Museum. Meteor Crater, a crater that's been here for about 50,000 years. Today we use as an attraction Space Museum. So a meteorite is a form of metallic material or even stony material that's out in space that pretty much combines and then enters our atmosphere as a meteor. And then once contact, turns into meteorite. We have a large sample here, the largest piece recovered since 1908, I believe. Its composition is 92% iron, 7% nickel. The rest remaining 1% consists of a half and half of cobalt and about 80 trace elements known on Earth. This happening, being able to fall at tremendous speeds of 26 to 30,000 miles an hour, having a mass of 300,000 tons, and the force of a 20 megaton explosion. Being able to uplift the desert floor, flip it over, and form the crater as you see today, but in deeper depths of what you see at 550 feet today, and is about a mile in diameter. NASA has been interested for this place since the 60s into the 70s of lunar missions for the Apollo, training and learning everything they can about this place so they could realistically have something here on Earth that they could use. Here at the crater is getting down in there, walking in, and actually being in the site. That realistic, that they need, geological sense of being. It is pretty unique for Arizona to have something like this because when these meteorites hit, we're bombarded about 50 times a day where we don't hear, see, or feel these. Pretty much where we're uninhabited areas, more like ocean. But to be hit here on land and being in a spot where people pass through, that's pretty awesome just to see, as well as the Grand Canyon here. But knowing how this happened instead of here on Earth, something from outside of this place occurring here.
Wow, BK, that's a pretty big hole.
Yeah.
What were some of the hazards like you had to deal
Well,
with
it
in that
was
situation?
all open. It was Class G airspace, so I was able to go up to 400 feet. Joe was there. He was my visual observer. This was actually our second time there. The Meteor Crater was my very first drone zone back in 2018. So
Wow.
we revisit it. It's a little revision, remaster, whatever.
Did you do better this
reissue. I felt like
More
it.
comfortable?
I'm a little more comfortable, yeah. And we had the tour there going, so that was cool to get that. We didn't have that last time. But I remember you asked me to try to fly the whole crater.
Yes. Like,
And
why
that-
not?
Right. And the crater is like a mile long.
It doesn't look a mile long.
And they said like 20 football fields.
Yeah, easy.
So I don't even think I got halfway through the crater, Levi, until we're like, let's come back so we can see it a little bit better.
But I think the best thing about this is the meteor did not hit the visitor center. I think that's the best takeaway from Meteor Crater.
Yeah, just missed it.
Just missed it.
Just missed it.
Well, that was an out of this world drone zone, guys. And another thing that's out of this world is we have a brand new drone pilot on the morning show. I caught up with him recently. Check it out. I'm here at Encanto Park in the heart of downtown Phoenix. I'm here with a familiar face. You might recognize this guy from Fox 10 Arizona Morning. Tom Fergus, how you
Good
doing?
to see you, BK. Glad to be here.
First, let me congratulate you as a brand new Fox 10 drone pilot here at Fox 10.
I was so happy when they asked me to do it because I had spent years in the helicopter, you know. So and I have my own drone. I've been flying for at least 3 or 4 years. So when they asked me, I was absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, you said when you first started out, you were in the helicopter. You were literally with your camera out the window getting aerial shots, right?
Yeah, so we had an A-Star, and we'd slow it down so I could slide open the door, and I literally was hanging out with the camera on my shoulder getting shots. And so the drone is so natural because all of the shots that I'm capturing now are very similar to the shots I captured back then.
But your feet are on the ground.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel a little safer.
Tell me a little bit about what you're going to bring with the drone and the morning show. What can we expect?
I think one of the things that they wanted to have, we have these, like you, we have a bunch of drone pilots, but none of them were working the morning shift. And my shift, I come in at 5, so I'm there when the sun comes up. I think I'm bringing a lot of, just beauty shots, moment of, sunrises and things like that. What does it look like outside? But also, a lot of crime scenes, a lot of scenes where perhaps it happened overnight, and this gives you a bird's eye view of what's going on in the morning. So I do a lot of that.
Do you have any advice for anybody who just got their Part 107 or is learning to fly a drone?
Yeah, I think one of the things I needed to learn was understanding, like when you show up to a scene. As a news photographer, I used to show up to a scene, any kind of scene, crime scene or a feature story, and I would just evaluate, where's the light, where's the sun, where's the sun at, what are my angles and everything like that. Now I have that third dimension going up in the air, so I'm paying closer attention to that. So it's like figure out the scenes. Once I understand the scene, then I can start to get my shots. And of course, we're all safety-based. The Fox Flight Desk is all about risk management and being safe, and so I'm always thinking, well, where's the safest spot for me to fly my drone, like over a building or over a big piece of land where there's no one below me. So I'm evaluating all that. But it's getting tips from guys like you, BK. Oh. I mean, just these cinematic tips, I have an idea for some of them, but I haven't actually executed them because I'm so new. But I am learning them, and I think that's really been fun.
On the Fox 10 flight team, we all have call signs.
Oh, boy.
And they all originate from the Top Gun movies.
Of course they do.
We have a Maverick, we have an Iceman, we have a Rooster. My call sign is Goose. And we all know what happens to Goose in the movie, so I'm not thrilled, but that's the call sign that I've been given.
Funny.
So are you ready for your call sign?
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Drum roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Tom, your call sign is Merlin.
Merlin. Oh, I sound like a wizard.
You're going to be bringing the drone magic to the morning show.
To the morning show. Merlin the Wizard. I love that. That's a good one. That's not bad. It's better than Goose and what happened to Goose, that's for sure.
Merlin, welcome to the drone zone. We can't wait to see what you're going to drone. Now, BK, I have a feeling we're going to a galaxy far, far away.
Something like that. So when I was prepping for this show, I was looking through the Drone Zone archives, and I found one of our first night drone flights.
Wow.
And it was with a group of lightsaber combat group. So they were at a park at night practicing their lightsaber skills, and it was really cool. If you were in the Star Wars universe, what color lightsaber would you have, Levi?
Ever since I was a kid, I loved green.
Yeah, I would say green myself.
I know where this is going. I'm not going to even take a guess. It would be orange.
What?
Orange.
There is no orange lightsaber.
There is.
I was expecting red from you.
It could be red, but now there's orange.
Okay, BK, take us home.
I'm drone pilot Brian Kae.
And I'm drone pilot Joe Tillman.
And I'm drone pilot Levi Pettigrew.
Keep your drone soaring and your adventures exploring.